can be only one podcast, and may it be the Prince of the Universe. Hi, folks. I'm Matt.
And I'm Wes.
Hi.
It's that time of year again.
Welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you.
There is so much positivity in this room from Bruce. It's overwhelming. Just want you to know.
There he is. There he is.
That positively Bruce.
Now, I want to start off by saying, everyone who saw me, I live streamed the Redneck Christmas Parade a few weeks ago. And there was someone that I met on that. And if you saw it, I don't know if the camera caught it because I haven't rewatched the live stream. But I think I was filming him too while he shook my hand, said hello, and we talked for a minute. That is an old friend of Wes's named Cass. Mm-hmm. And I have not seen Cass in years, decades maybe. I don't know. I think it's been over a decade probably since I last
For sure, at
saw
least
him.
10 years.
Did he not live here for a short time? I think he moved away.
Yeah, he's living in Dallas now.
Oh, he's living in Dallas now. He
Yes.
just happened to be in.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he just came in for the Redneck Christmas Parade. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it was good to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Shocked he remembered me.
Yep.
It was very nice to remember him. And it took me a minute because, of course, he has the snowy white beard.
Yes.
Which is nice.
He's looking to get the revamp of Uncle Jesse if that ever gets off from not Uncle Jesse from Full House, Uncle Jesse from Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, needs those overalls, red trucker hat, and he could do it.
I was doing the Uncle Jesse.
The Uncle Jesse point. There you go. Now look here, boys. You know, so it was nice to see him, and I did not know that he was just in for a special weekend appearance. Did you happen to see him while he was in?
Not on this visit. No,
okay.
He had too many bookings.
Okay, well maybe next time he can come on and do a podcast then.
He's more of a weekend warrior, but we'll see.
Okay.
Maybe
I'll make some adjustments
Provisions.
I'll make provisions in the schedule for him
Okay, great.
since I know he's kind of far away and everything, and I know you don't want Brandon Moore on the podcast. You said that many times, so
Right.
Which is kind of weird. How I
Heavy
keep asking him
emphasis.
when he's coming, and you say, "Well, he doesn't. I don't want him." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." But anyway, okay. So moving on.
Moving on to our subject of the day.
Our subject of the day. We were talking about Christmas parties. I mentioned one of the topics would be Christmas parties. I was thinking business. You were thinking family, and I thought this was interesting because we could talk about both.
Yep.
Family Christmas parties back then. We still have ours. It's a annual Christmas tree decorating party. We all get together, and when we were kids, we all should decorate the tree. But now it's our kids who are decorating the tree. We're just sitting around, eating food, snacks, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the little egg rolls, the little potato sliders and stuff like just junk food really, but all those little appetizers basically, mozzarella sticks, stuff like that. And while they decorate the tree and just have fun, hang out for a bit. It's always been the same, one of our longest traditions there. Did you have any family Christmas?
Yeah, for us it was a real redneck Christmas before you even knew what redneck was back then in the early 80s. At least I didn't.
Yes, you didn't realize what redneck meant. Redneck wasn't really a term back then, was it?
I
don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think redneck got big in the 90s when Jeff Foxworthy started talking about it, right?
I think then,
that's where it really started getting
Steve Austin, that kind of
that's true.
That southern outlaw kind of vibe.
But in the 90s, that kind of staple, that kind of character, that characterization
I think that's
kind
where
of
he
rose.
started. The silly side of it.
Yeah, everyone knew what they were, but no one really talked about them. They weren't really out there until, like you said, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'd say Jeff Foxworthy. Right. And there's a few other, comedians and
Southern
whatnot
gentlemen.
Kind of, go ahead and just talk about rednecks a little bit. But.
So, but ours was like going to our grandmother's house, and they would have like a really terrible Christmas parade, for lack of a better term, where they would hand out like bags of fruit. That's that kind of, this is early 80s now, so.
Is this Balkanville?
It is not. It's Dubach, so it's close. Pretty close.
They'd hand out fruit.
You hand out bags of like fruit and like peppermints. So this is real.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wow. What
like
kind of fruit did you? What kind of fruit did you?
It'd be like oranges and apples and stuff. Yeah, this is not sun-kissed.
That is crazy.
Yes.
Wow.
And my mom would be so excited, and everybody's parents would be excited, and the kids just thought it was terrible. because we had no interest in that.
And in the parade where you said were fire trucks and what, police cars?
Yeah,
and
that kind of stuff. Nothing like
nothing
like
big, no floats.
No, nothing like that. But it was just like
was there a marching band?
I don't think so.
No, so just a bunch of cars.
Yeah, and it was real. I'm gonna go with redneck. I'm not gonna say anything else crass than that. But it was very lower level.
Was it tractors coming through?
Probably so.
Some motorcycles.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Or some kind of
a few people on 4-wheelers driving through,
or 3-wheelers back then.
And 3-wheelers back then. That's correct. I rode a 3-wheeler back in the day.
Probably only once.
Well, yeah, maybe. Fell off
without a helmet.
You never wore helmets back then.
Just cut off denim shorts and probably a tank top.
I actually remember when 3-wheelers were done making them, and so everyone was holding on to theirs, thinking that's so special. I'm never going to let this go, and you don't see a single 3-wheeler out there anymore. But.
Correct. But yeah, that was our thing, but it was that was for like, I guess the first 10 years I was alive, maybe 11. But once grandparents started dying off, that tradition slowly,
died off too. So the fruit died off.
It did. Died on the vine. I think that's what they call that.
Hey-o. So you go over to your grandmother's house, and then y'all go out to the street or out to the area where they were doing the thing.
Correct.
And they'd be giving out bags of fruit as they're passing by.
Yes.
And then you go home and enjoy the fruit, maybe make a fruit salad even.
Who knows what happened to that fruit? I think the kids just begrudgingly did that because Lord knows I had no interest in it. I felt like even at a very young, impressionable age where I thought I would maybe have gamma rays, I knew for sure I was not enjoying this Christmas spectacular.
So the fire engine go wah, 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 and you were not interested
I was not impressed. Not impressed.
Hey, mister, let me ride your motorcycle.
I think I was more depressed, actually.
It made you sadder over the holidays.
Which may be why I've never enjoyed Christmas into my 40s because of this traumatic situation we're discussing.
Oh my goodness. Let's see what else. So was that the only type of party you had?
Basically, that was the yearly thing that we would do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it was you would play football or something like that.
That's true.
And then hopefully there would be a family issue where someone got in a fight.
Hopefully.
I had my uncles got in a couple of fights.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I had 7 uncles or 8 uncles then, and there was a couple of dust ups,
some throwdowns.
Yeah,
normal.
Time, my grandfather, who was a real character, he let off Roman candle in the house and shot it at everybody. So just
in the house.
So this guy was, but anyway, so just characters.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is well defined there, sir. Yeah. Characters.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to switch topics. I want to talk about business. Christmas parties. Did you ever? We had some. We didn't have any at Cards, Coins, and Collectibles.
We would go eat dinner.
We did. We sit down. I remember we ate at. Oh gosh, we go to Outback. Was Outback?
Yeah, we went to Outback.
We went to.
Like old steakhouse, like Lone Star. Or
yeah, some kind of old steakhouse. Wayne would pay for everyone.
Yep.
I remember he divvied out we won the highest sales market from year to year or whatever, and he gave us it was free plane tickets. Remember that?
Yep.
And he just split it out among us, so we each had $1,000 or $2,000 in plane tickets. I flew to like 2 different places. I remember off of it. So maybe
we did that, but. As far as like I've never had like a corporate type office type Christmas party. And my ex-wife had a few when she was in her job here.
Dentistry one. I bet they partied, huh?
They did, and they had a situation one night where a girl had an accident in the restroom. And it was a number 2 accident all over the place.
Hello.
Correct.
When you're walking down the hall and you hear something fall. Diarrhea.
Yes.
Wow.
So
interesting.
It was not Mr. Hanky because it was more of an explosion.
It was a spray and pray.
Yes.
Okay.
Howdy ho.
Wow. And was there alcohol involved with this incident?
Copious amounts, it looked like, possibly Brussels sprouts.
Okay, which you think alcohol and multiple vegetables do not mix.
Yeah, it was not a medley.
Well, it's not
Just a
medley.
mess.
Just a mess. Wasn't fun or educational.
So I think that was it.
Wow.
It didn't happen while we were there. It was more like someone went
Was it
to the
discovered
bathroom
afterwards?
and went, "Oh, this happened."
Someone killed Mr. Hanky.
Yes.
And he's everywhere.
Yes. Yeah. Real smear job. So that was
Wow.
a memorable one.
Wow, that is a memorable one. I never had anything that like someone just going just nuts and wild and doing something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back when I worked at the assessor's office, they rented out a lodge somewhere, around. There's always a lodge, and it was a big old, I'm thinking, what's the what is it? The prime brisket. They're doing brisket and all this stuff, and there's a big old smorgasbord, and we all got like little presents and whatnot. I can't remember what they were, but they were decent,
Yeah.
$20-$25 presents and whatever from our boss. That was really fun. And DirecTV did nothing for us. Neither did the bank, really. The bank would take us out to eat. No, the branch manager took us out to eat, maybe. Maybe they did. Maybe we went to the warehouse.
Maybe
I
that
can't
was
remember.
what when we watch now Christmas Vacation and how Clark kind of gets hosed on his bonus. I think
Well, that's
that
what
was
it kind of
probably
feels. I kind of
think
feel
that's
like
what's
that
happened.
now.
Yeah, I think that's
'Cause-
what's totally happened.
In the past few years, the only thing they've given us is we have some lights here down the road, wherever, Calhoun or wherever, and a free ticket to go see the lights. All right, we've done that for the past couple of years. This year, nothing. Absolutely nothing is going on. I was like, wow, that's kind of from something to nothing is, woo.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the older you get, you realize the luster. The older you get with Christmas, it just unless you have a group of small children like you do, you may lose that.
Well, I understand, and I understand that the luster of things, like the anticipation of Christmas, of unwrapping gifts, of getting these great toys and great presents and stuff, it kept you up at night.
Oh yeah,
It kept you up at night because you're like, I cannot wait, I cannot wait, I cannot wait. You just were so excited. You were the first one up, is the earliest you ever woke up, except on a Saturday. You'd wake up early on Saturday
Sure.
to make sure you watch them cartoons, but you'd always wake up on a Christmas morning just to get ready and
yeah.
go.
You would wake your parents up.
Oh yeah, you would, and your parents would get pissed, and they'd take forever to wake up, and it'd be like 7:30. Like, what's going on? What are we doing here? But when and I understand when you get older, that's not the same. It's not the same. But with corporate parties, though, it seemed that they were better back in the day than they are now.
And I almost think that it's from years and years of people, smaller companies getting bought up by big companies, and there'd be more of a worry about, putting something in the Xerox machine and taking too many copies of it and
That's
passing
true.
it out
That's
to people
true. And
20 years ago.
I think we may have had beer at the early ones that I recall. Never at the bank. Only at the assessor's office. But it wasn't any. There wasn't anything crazy, going on. Kind of civil, kind of fun. Everyone brought their spouse if they had one. You could bring a boyfriend, girlfriend if you didn't. But yeah, that was basically it, and everything was pretty civil. But I do hear about all the crazy Christmas parties used to have, and even our business used to give us a big. I remember they got Copeland's to cater it, and all the nice stuff that Copeland's makes was all out there. And it used to be so big and boisterous, and now it's just been reduced to nothing. It's like, ooh, no one wants it. And I'm sure that's not every corporation, but it seems like even corporations just have moved away from the holiday party, which, do you have to have it? No, I guess it was always nice of you to do it, but it is something nice to do something for your. Because I'm noticing different divisions and where at work.
Yep.
Different divisions get big things. Like they let it wasn't here,
Right.
but another division far away, they gave them a whole day off to play at some, like it's like a Surge here. It's
Yeah,
like a
sure.
adult Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Everything was paid for. All the food was paid for. It was all day. That's what you did for work. You went there and you just played all day. Just
Right.
a big holiday
Blow off
thank
steam.
you. Yeah, big holiday thank you. Yeah. And I thought that's really nice. And then my former boss just today left to Phoenix, where she's going to be for the next couple of days. And they flew the whole team into Phoenix, and they're doing events and stuff. And just, they'll be at work meeting and stuff, but they're going to go out and make sure they have a bunch of activities and have fun and do stuff at night.
I think so much of it now is upper tier for that versus a smaller collection of people, which I think is where you harbor this kind of underlying resentment.
True. All right, so moving on. My next question is,
yes,
do you throw Christmas parties for your group?
I've taken them out to eat.
That's nice.
A couple of different times. Okay. But at the same point, it's kind of, there's no like budget for that. So
gotcha.
It's more like, what am I willing to pay for kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
It's kept, whatever we do previously is much of a smaller basis. So I don't even know what we're going to do this year.
Okay.
If we do something, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the other thing that's hard in the retail world, because every day is busy right now until Christmas. I mean, it's just busy.
Right.
Everyone's always stopping in. There's no really dead time. So it is kind of hard to plan something unless you do it in the day or something like a lunch
for us,
or
all we could really do was like a Sunday night kind of thing.
Yeah, when you're closed early.
Right.
Yeah. Are you going to open Sunday night? Is Christmas Eve? Are you staying open any later for Christmas Eve?
They're actually supposed to close at 4. They normally close at 4 on Christmas Eve. So.
Oh, okay. So nothing's changed here.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Still at 4 o'clock.
To digress here for a minute, well, 1 or 2 years ago, we talked about Black Friday.
Yes.
No, many years ago, and kind of how it's become Black Thursday. But now I've noticed a different trend.
Went back to Black Friday. Not even at 12 a.m. anymore. Went back to the Black Friday that you and I knew back in the late 90s. Back to 6 a.m.
Back to 6 a.m.
I think that part of that came from a lot of bad press from when you would have these cell phone videos of people running inside of Walmart, these stampedes and things like that. I think that companies kind of got in some lawsuit issues and things like that.
People not able to celebrate Thanksgiving because they had to go into work that day because they had to get ready.
And you can't build like this rush of people and not have the goods to deliver and cause that kind of chaos and bad things not happen. Yeah,
plus there's the pandemic that kind of put a wrench in things for a while.
Definitely, pandemic played a huge role.
But now we're seeing the whole big giant reset. I was just thinking about this too. Because this is one thing I want to talk to you about. We saw now a reset of what Black Friday used to be, where everyone just opens up a little bit earlier that morning. That's all it is, and that's all it used to be back in the day. And now it's kind of back there.
It's back to, you still have promotions. Like we did a promotion versus an all-week promotion. It did it for one day, so it built more anticipation.
Well, doorbusters are always a thing for
that
Black
kind
Friday.
Of stuff.
Of course, you have your once-in-a-lifetime sale, once-a-year sale. But what I'm talking about is the time and the anticipation and the wait. It's not midnight, or anymore, which is what it used to be. It's not. It was getting at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
For the worst, they'd open up at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving night.
And then close at midnight and come
close
back.
At midnight, restock, and then come back up.
Terrible idea.
It's terrible. It's terrible. But I think customers have been like, you know what? What were we thinking? Staying up all night. Shopping. What's the big deal? What
it's
was
more
the
like
big
doing
rush?
it, and then like you do it. If you do it 2 years in a row, you go, this is the law of diminishing returns. And I think companies felt the same way.
And I think, and so I'm happy to see it. And I don't know if, I guess it's been like this since the pandemic, but I've just never really noticed it until my wife said she was going to go Black Friday shopping. I was like, oh, does that mean you stay up all night? She went, no one's open at night anymore. I was like, really?
Yep.
And because I remember she used to do it. That used to be a tradition. She and her sister would go, and they'd shop till they dropped, and usually she'd get in at 6 or 8 in the morning.
Yeah, everybody wear matching T-shirts like they're
Disneyland. It's Cool Runnings all over again. They're all part of a bobsled team going out there shopping.
Nothing cool about that.
Drawing out their game plan of what they want to do. And now you don't have. I mean, you still have the doorbusters. You still have so the crowds. Of course, it's still a big day, but now it's set to Black Friday morning, just like the good old days.
Yep.
But I remember when they first started opening early, because I told you, I said, who is going to come? I remember JCPenney and Sears and Murs, all the big retailers had to open at 5, remember?
Yeah, if
we were at 6.
If you had an entrance to the mall.
Yeah, you were at 5, and I was like,
So they would have people walking around inside the mall waiting for the rest of the mall
Yeah.
to open at 6. So yeah, so you had your built-in crowd waiting, which
Yeah.
once again built anticipation because it just
Yeah.
sounded like a herd of elephants when you opened the door.
yeah, and they took advantage of that too. You know, they had the Cracker Jack sale. They only did that once. I remember. I can't remember who did it, but inside Cracker Jacks
got
were
that.
10, 20, and 30% offs.
Yeah, I remember
So they
that.
got it, ripped it, poured the Cracker Jacks on the floor, got their ticket, and ran. And there was like Cracker Jacks everywhere. Just one terrible idea after they thought people would eat that. No, they're trying to buy as much stuff as they can. So that was the sale, was you get 10, 20, 30% off your entire
It's just a
purchase.
gimmick,
It was
like
a gimmick.
everything.
But I remember turning to you when they announced that for the first year, and I said, who in their right mind would show up here at 5 a.m.? And of course, the answer was everyone. And of course, then it just led on. And this is the exact conversation we had years ago.
Right.
But now I've noticed there's been a reset on it. And I've been happy to see that. I'm sure you have too. But
Yes, that does no one
Now-
any good.
I'm sure you had people lined up,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
What were people cordial again? Because I think I even said this on our Black Friday podcast. Do you remember Megan and I went and
Yes.
saw you on Black Friday?
Yes.
Maybe we were there at the open. I can't remember. There was that.
Yeah, we were there in the afternoon.
The coupon lady.
Yes.
That was probably the. If I could have recorded that, that'd have been just. It had gone viral.
Yeah, it's basically something off of Clerks.
It is exactly. Can I combine the green and the red? No, you can combine 2 green or 2 red, but they're different.
And I was
What if I
asked-
wanted 2 red and a green? No, just it's all green or just red. It's one or the other. You can have 2 of those if you want. So 2 greens and 1 red. Would I? No. And we just had to
Yeah, we
explain over and over
discuss
again.
like
It was
the
great.
questions we get now. Like I wonder, and like where so much things are like self checkouts now, how people operate that because they can't even do math or figure out what we say. This
Yeah.
is what's possible. There's a lot of questions, so I don't know how that even works.
You don't see that many of them, though. Are they becoming more popular in retail? I don't think so. I mean, I know Circle K has a little thing where you stick it in the.
I think that there's more of them than not
Oh, really?
that
Okay.
are coming around. I'm just saying, like,
Well, I don't
the
go everywhere.
level of
so.
difficulty for what we ask of a human versus that is much simpler. So I'm very puzzled at how that even happens. And I would hate to work somewhere where that happens and trying to explain how that works.
Yeah,
But yeah,
no, that
so
would be bad. So
we had a line of people, business as usual, nothing ridiculous.
Nothing ridiculous,
Yeah,
okay.
we're pretty fortunate that people that come at that
You're in
time
a good
usually
area.
have an idea of what they want.
yeah, and
It's-
they already know the sales. They already know what they want.
They're
get.
ready.
Yeah, they went in and labeled stuff the week before. Like, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah,
and
it's
that,
like
and
us
that.
when we used to circle in the Sears wish book what we wanted.
Exactly.
They know exactly what they want.
People go in the day because your Black Friday flyers or sales or emails went out the week before.
Your
Everyone
app.
knows. Yeah, everyone knows what's coming up.
Right.
And so they do their little tour through the building to make sure they know where everything is. They know exactly they're going to get and go. Because they want out too. They don't want to sit around all day either, especially in long lines.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. They want to come when it's like everybody getting on the interstate, and then they want to know why the traffic stops. Like they'll look at you and they're like, "Why is the line here?" And it's like, it's like our theater closed in the mall here, and people are going.
Yeah.
They're like, "Can you believe it?" And I go, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, why would you say something like that? When did you go see a movie last?" And they're like, "Oh, I can't remember." I'm like, "Well, that's why things close,
yeah.
idiot."
I've heard the same thing. Like, oh, the mall, the movie. Now, for anyone who doesn't know,
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's more that mall bad rap. They're like, "Oh, well, something else closed." It's like, well, nobody goes.
no one goes. Yeah.
So
no one
yeah,
goes
that's why
there.
it dies. I mean, it's not because crime was happening when you're trying to watch 101 Dalmatians. It's like nobody goes to the movies there anymore.
No one goes there
But
anymore.
it just gets such a bad rap, and it's like it's the power of bad publicity and all this like just trash talk.
Well, true, but what you said is true too, because people are like, "Oh, they're so sad this closed," because it used to be That was
you
the
go to
movie
mall
theater.
and you would go see a movie.
That was the only. That wasn't the only movie theater, but out of all the movie theaters we had, that used to be the nicest for the
correct.
longest.
Had the most theaters.
And then about, I don't know, back in 1998, the late 90s, that Tinseltown opened, the one we have now, so that kind of took over from the mall there. And, people split, because if you wanted a cheaper ticket, you went to the mall. People were still going. But after a while, people just started just flooding into the Tinseltown and not to the mall one anymore. And the mall one's always been there. Whenever I'd pass it by, I'd rarely see people going in. The reason I didn't want to see one at the mall is because I live closer to I live exactly around the block from the other one. And even when I didn't, I still went to the one here just because it was closer, more convenient. I don't like going, we've already talked about that. I don't like going to that mall anyway. But when it closed, now I'm hearing everyone say the same thing. Oh, they closed that mall. Oh, that mall. I remember the movie theater in the mall. Oh, I can't believe they closed it. Well, no one goes.
Yeah.
So that's why they closed it. You just have good memories of nostalgia. But guess what? Kids don't go and hang. We've talked about this on a previous podcast.
Sure.
The hangout spot isn't the mall. The hangout spot is the
I don't
coffee
know how much
shop.
theaters are a destination anymore.
I've only seen 8 movies in 9 as of this podcast.
I noticed like the last time I went to the theater, they don't even have what movies are playing. Like on the, how you would have like the letter showing everything. It's just blank. You used to have the posters out there, but it used to have like what movies are playing up there.
Well, you know what I hate? Because you and I have gone to a few movies in the past, and we like to go. I like to go to movies that were older re-releases, and I love those. And we went and saw a few. And the thing is, those are the hardest friggin' things to find on their app. It's you have to go to a special section, and then find, or unless you just go date by date by date by date to see what's playing that day. And there's nothing in that movie theater to advertise, hey, guess what's coming back?
Yeah, I agree that the publicity over show business in that way, it's really you're going to have to find it.
Like, what's the purpose?
It's like getting on like a message board in the early 2000s trying to figure. It's like, why is it this difficult?
It shouldn't be that difficult. Plus, what's the purpose of even holding it if you're not going to promote it?
I
Promote
agree.
it. Because someone walking out of a movie theater goes, oh, I remember that movie.
Right.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah. Then you're going to show it like on a Thursday.
And it's not like you ain't got the space either is the thing.
Right. Yeah, you don't have this inundated with...
Yeah, we're not just overpopulated with movies coming out left and right now. And it's never been that case, but they don't advertise these at all. And it's like, I mean, it's fine because that means just an empty theater. But I guarantee you, they put more posters up, and we were seeing at least twice the number of people
I would
in the
definitely say,
theater. And I like the re-releases because we watched last one we watched together was Big Lebowski.
Yep.
Yeah, and I told you that was one that I just never got to see in theaters when it came out. So I was like, dang, I always wanted to see it in theater. Well, now I finally get a chance to see it. And it's fun. I enjoy that. I enjoy that stuff more than the new movies. I look forward to re-releases.
You would almost think like there would be a theater around here that would play into that and show older movies and charge less on concessions as the gimmick.
Oh,
and
they
say,
hey,
we're going to show a movie from 1995, and we're going to do
large popcorn, $5. You still make tons of money off of it.
Something like that.
You're not charging the 10.
But I guess this is a Christmas podcast, and we've kind of jumped the shark.
Well, we have. It's okay because we won't even address. We had a backup topic we don't really need anymore.
I guess what we want for Christmas is what we don't have anymore.
A bag of fruit.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
I want a bag of fruit. I want to see a parade that gives out fruit again.
Yes.
I never had that. I don't even think we went to a parade when I was a kid. A Christmas parade, we never went to one. We'd watch the one on TV.
Yep.
Back in the day, but I never. If there were parades here back in the day, Christmas parades, I was never.
Well, like I said, I would say the term parade is loose at best. For what,
well, you know what I mean. Well, a gathering of where people are marching or cars are driving in orderly fashion down a street. That never happened. Or if it did, my parents never just bothered taking us.
I don't think it's much of a concept, to be honest with you.
I'm not a parade guy. The only parade that I insist on going to is the Redneck Christmas Parade just because it's so much fun. Other than that, I do not care. My kids were in the recent parade, the serious parade. Mm-hmm. I watched them. Daddy waved at them at the float, and then I immediately left. is not staying any longer. There's no reason for me to stay because I do not care.
Bah humbug.
Bah humbug. Even with that in the Mardi Gras too. I wish I didn't have to go. I'm not even that kind of parade guy. Do you do Mardi Gras? We should talk about this later, I guess. But
I guess I'd like to see what's under the fruit bag if I'm going to Mardi Gras.
Well then, on that note, we'll leave it there. And hey, folks, let us know if you've had a Christmas party and what your Christmas party memories were like. And we'll see you next time on Princes of the Universe.
Show me those cantaloupes.